First question I have here is, tell me a bit about your life before your shoulder was injured.
Well, I first injured my shoulder 6 years ago, so I've had a shoulder injury for my entire professional climbing life, but a year ago it got worse. So, do you mean my life before a year ago, or? My normal lifestyle, how I live, is generally a life of travel, I suppose. I just go from one climbing trip to the next. Every time I tried to climb at my limit in the last year, it's been really bad, really painful.
Oh, fucking hell.
Cool.
Oh, I don't want to do it anymore.
It was really hard, not just because, you know, it's my job and my life, but because that's kind of the thing that makes me most happy, is doing a route and trying my absolute hardest on it.
Good.
And so it's time, I think, to do something about it and sacrifice some time and some money for the bigger picture.
I'm Hazel Findlay and I'm from England.
Why are you here? What are you doing?
I'm here in Spain, in Oliana, to do a route called Mind Control. Should do the interview like this.
Yeah.
The things that we need to get and me working it. I've been wanting to do this route for 3 years now. The reason I've not done it yet is, well, a few reasons, but one of them, a big reason being my shoulder. If I'm perfectly honest, it's still not completely right, but I think that's just because it's been injured for so long now, it just wants to be injured.
Okay, that's fine. First thing I'd like to do is to put an arrow on your arm. It's your right shoulder, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's alright, you don't need to take anything off. Just let that dry. There you are. Make sure we get the correct side. Put a keyhole at the back of the shoulder when I do the diagnostic part of it.
There's no price I would put on being able to climb injury-free for the rest of my life. There's just no price. When so much of your happiness is bound up in climbing, tomorrow after the surgery my life is going to be completely different. I'm going to be basically inside 4 walls.
Which is a big change.
Yeah, which for me is like, I don't know. Hopefully he'll fix me, and if this will all be worth it. In horrible agitation.
We are here at San Llorenç de Montgai. Such a unique village. Doesn't look real, man. Climbers has this big problem. You can train 1 year long and you can be really strong. You get one injury that puts you out for 3 months. You have to start all it back. I met Hazel a bit more than 1 year ago. When I met her, 6-7 months after the operation, her main problem was this like big defense of her body, big tension. So her shoulder wasn't functional. Straight, I had to work with this, like reestablishing the mobility, the function, because she was doing like exercises, she wanted to get stronger. But I told her, you cannot give strength to a bad shoulder. First, you need to make your shoulder health good, the mobility, the function. And block here, you see? When you make this loose. After 2 or 3 weeks of intense treatment, I was surprised how fast she progressed. She has a really like smart mind and she's super disciplined.
Today went really well. Really, really, really good conditions. Yeah, I was psyched because I didn't feel like super tired, like I wasn't gassing out too much, so I feel like I've got enough fitness to do the route. I just have to wait for the top tufa to dry and nail that move. Now you're making the food burn. But I've got like some elbow pain and bicep pain, and I'm trying not to be worried about it, but I'm slightly worried about it.
Okay, more importantly, what's cooking?
Yes, so to make everything good, I'm going to cook big quinoa stir fry.
Your shoulder's all fixed. You actually had quite an extensive slap tear.
Metal in my body.
Wow.
The 3 exercises. So the first one, which is the top left picture, external rotation. So thumb to thumb, hand on the back of the elbow, keep it pushed in.
In my room here, I've built, you could call it a nest. In my head, I've started calling it my prison cell. I've named my exercise by Bertie because he's my new best friend. Like, it's easy to like rationalize it and be like, I'm making the most of it, it's great, and then some days you just wake up and you're like, oh. And then the other hard part has been listening to my friends talk about going on all these trips, looking at Facebook, best trips of their life.
What's the psych levels at the crag today?
Well, if my body works, I've got a really high chance. But if my body stops working, then... Well, right now my body doesn't feel that good, actually. Definitely a lesson in patience sometimes.
You!
I can't do it again. You feel me?
You recently got the all clear to go running.
The reason I go climbing is because it's a challenge to me, physically and mentally and emotionally, and you know, it challenges the whole of me.
How cold was it today?
I kind of feel like not going climbing is also just like, it's kind of like an extension of that. And so I've been trying to focus on using the time still and not just wishing the hours away. I'm packing for a trip to India. The weirdest thing is not having to pack any climbing gear.
When was the last time you did that?
What do you mean? I've never done that. All I need really is clothes. So as soon as I could lift a bag, I went to Ladakh in northern India, my first trip without rock shoes. The problem was that it wasn't so great for my shoulder. I was away from my physio, I wasn't doing my exercises properly. Magnifique! And every time my shoulder hurt, it kind of really got me down, and it felt like it was never going to get better. So I took up paragliding to get my adventure fix. It was really nice having an excuse to do these other things that I've always wanted to do but never got round to because I was too busy going rock climbing.
I found a stray paraglider.
I feel sick.
Perfect for sending.
I started climbing again like 4 months after the operation.
I was excited to start climbing again, but because I couldn't climb like myself, because I couldn't pull hard and climb well and be in flow and push myself, it never really felt like I'd started climbing properly again, and probably until another year or so.
So she came, she was doing 7As with pain. She had a long period with this thing disturbing her. She wasn't sure if she could climb again, climb hard, climb strong again. And doing a route like this, an 8C climbing, wasn't only like a physical thing, was like believing, like, yes, I can do it, I'm ready. You can be yourself again.
Sometimes when you're climbing the whole time, you're like, you wonder sort of how much of your identity is paired with climbing. And before the surgery, I was thinking, who am I going to be? Like, what's my identity going to be when I can't go climbing anymore? But that's just so stupid because, of course, I'm just the same person, and of course, climbing is a huge part of my identity. The day that I did mind control was kind of interesting because I woke up and I felt really ill. And I was like, actually, you know, I've only got these 4 hours or whatever to do mind control before it rains, and I can either be all grumpy about being ill or I can kind of just ignore it. No excuses. You're fit enough, you're strong enough. You can do this. You get to stop filming.